I went for a walk this morning and I was just looking at the sky and the ocean, and I realized that the main thing that makes me feel the best on this earth is when I am alone in nature and when I am surrounded by the stillness that is nature and the silence that lives within it. And that is when I feel the best. When I'm in nature, everything feels right because nothing matters anymore. None of the little things that I get hung up on, nothing matters. And it feels so right and it feels so good. And so I came to this conclusion within myself that made me feel really free, that if being in nature and being still, being calm, being with people I love, or being by myself is what makes me feel best on this entire earth, then that is the core, most important part of my life. And everything else is extra. All the little enjoyments, all of the career milestones, all of the things that I'm working towards, those are only extra because at the core, what matters most to me is this. And I think that is so important for me to define within myself as I move into the next chapter of being busier and working towards my goals and continuing to become more of the person that I want to be in our society. None of that matters as much as this does, as just being on this earth and enjoying the natural earth. That is what feels best. And so it frees me from these worries that I've had about money or about deadlines and about being busy or not doing enough or doing too much. Like all of those little extra things, even the good things, are just extra when it comes to the core of what I want to be, which is I just want to be present. And I talk about nature and nature making me feel good, and it does. And what it really makes me feel is presence, which, oh, look at the sun, which is something that you can find anywhere, anytime. And it's something that I'm working to find in my own life. In times when I feel busy, in times when I'm in just like the middle of the city and people are being mean or whatever, learning to find that presence in that moment. When you allow the entirety of a moment to be the only center of your focus, everything becomes a divine blessing. Everything becomes okay. Everything becomes beautiful. And right now, just sitting here, I feel like I've taken off so many layers of myself that I've been stressing about or building. And just sitting here surrounded by the noise of the crickets and the trees and having the sun just decide to shine down on me. That is what I mean when I talk about nature. It feels good, it feels natural, and I love being surrounded by it, but mostly it just brings me to this place within myself of like, the only thing that matters is this current moment, and that is the most beautiful thing. And so I feel free because I know that no matter what I do, I am constantly the source of all of the bliss, all of the goodness, all of the presence that I could ever feel is something that lives within me, and everything else is extra. And what a fun game to play when you feel like you've already won and you can just have fun with it. I'm so grateful. What a beautiful thing to live a life where you've already won. And there's no more fighting and no more trying. Everything else is extra. All the little achievements are just another layer of icing or another topping on the cake. Wow. It's a really cloudy day today. It was supposed to rain, which doesn't happen much here, and the sun just like peeked through the clouds and is shining on my face, and it feels so good. And so in your own life, if you are searching for presence, if you're searching for peace, if you're searching outside of yourself for something to make you feel good, know that the game has already been won. You being alive is the greatest gift, and everything else on top of that, every challenge, every misunderstanding, every beautiful blessing in your life is just extra on top of that. And for me, the way that helps me to connect with that truth in a very deep way is when I'm surrounded by trees and sitting on the ground, and that really helps me. And if that's something that's not really a part of your life, I would recommend it. Because at the core, as humans, we are just animals. We are still creatures of this earth, which we forget sometimes, but being that we are just animals, when you're surrounded by your natural environment, you feel deeply good. You feel like you can just take all of your layers off and be. And so I wanted to share that with you. And yeah, I'm still learning how to be present, and I'm still learning how to be a human and how to, feel that divine bliss in every moment. But I am walking every day closer and closer on my path of becoming more and more of who and what I am, which at its core is an empty space for other things to bloom. An empty space, just like how this forest is an empty space for me to let go and to breathe and to be. My goal is just to be that same empty space for other humans, for other things, for anything. And yeah, what a beautiful journey when you've already won. Thank you for listening. I hope that you're doing well and taking care of yourself. And I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day today.